Fall is a time when Oktoberfest is celebrated in many places across our nation. And Shenoa French is with us from the Culinary Innovations team with a recipe that fits perfectly with Oktoberfest. Is that right?
It does. We're gonna talk a little bit about bratwurst style and some sauerkraut.
Perfect.
So let's start here. We actually have the sauerkraut working first for us, and this recipe is kind of a play on the canned sauerkraut that you might buy in the grocery store. It's a quick pickling, takes about 10 minutes, and allows you to make as much or as little as you need. We need just a small amount for this recipe. So
Here I am a German, and I've never even heard of that.
You've never made your own. Well, now you can learn.
Yes.
So this starts, and why I wanted to show you this part of the recipe is it shows that it kind of disappears in the pan, and that's okay. You haven't done anything wrong. So that's why we want to show not to add more, because it'll mess up and you'll end up with extra at the end. So this is about 3 cups of coleslaw mix, and it's just shredded cabbage that you can buy in the grocery store. So if you want to use a head and shred it yourself, you can, or for convenience, just buy 3 cups of shredded. It's a little bit of water, a little bit of brown sugar, a little bit of vinegar, and some caraway seeds.
Really?
Yeah. So
that's all it takes.
That's all it takes. Find them in the spice aisle. There. A little bit of water. You put the lid on it, and you let them cook for about 10 minutes, and you'll start to see that the cabbage becomes translucent, and that's what we're looking for. So I'm gonna let this sit here for a little bit, and we're gonna talk about the beef and sausage. Yeah. So most people, I think of Oktoberfest, they think of the Longmore brat style.
Right.
This is gonna be a patty, so it's easier, and it makes dinner for 4, and you don't have to worry about trying to stuff them or do casings or any of that. So you're going to start with a pound of ground beef, whatever you choose at the house, and we're going to add just a couple quick ingredients, and then we'll use it on the stove. So we're going to start this with 1/4 cup of milk.
Really?
Yeah, so a little bit of milk, and I like to kind of flatten out the ground beef in the bowl so that you're even dispersing of the spices as you lay them in here. So next is going to be a little bit of powdered garlic. So kind of sprinkle that through.
Yeah. Get it good and dispersed.
Yeah, try to. Salt and pepper. That's just your standard in the house.
That's easy. You bet.
And then here comes the ones that are a little bit different.
I don't even recognize those.
So this one is allspice.
So
the nut that a lot of people think of probably with cookies and pumpkin pie. So we're going to add that in there. A little bit of cardamom.
Really?
Yeah. For those people that like chai tea and some of that kind of stuff. Just some of that flavors that you'll get. And then a little bit of mace is your last one. So just a touch of that. We're going to add that.
Well, you just taught me something about spices today.
That's only half of it. And then you're going to mix them up. You want to go ahead at home, use your hands, kind of get in there, make sure that everything is dispersed nicely. You want to make sure that the insides are just as seasoned as the outsides. So usually go ahead and do this with your hands. You don't want to over mix them, because the more you mix them, the tougher your patties will become.
I see.
Yeah, so kind of give them a good mix. And then you're basically going to just divide this into 4. Kind of real quick, and then press them into patties.
Just patties, just like you do a hamburger.
Just like you would hamburgers. Yep, absolutely.
That's easy enough to do.
So that's kind of the start of this. We're going to move in. I've got some started, and we're going to show you what we do with them next.
Looks like it, yeah.
So we have 3 of them on here. What we want to talk about is you'll start 2 of them, and you want to just cook them until they're golden brown on the bottom. So you want to make sure that they're cooked all the way through. So 160 degrees internally, and when you're using a thermometer at home, you want to stick the thermometer through horizontally to make sure you're not touching the bottom of the pan for food safety. And we know that juices are not a clear determinant for doneness. So when a lot of people have said if you run, and that's truly not food safe. So best indicator is to go ahead and use a thermometer. Once they're about halfway cooked, you're going to flip them over. So that way you can make sure that they get seared on both sides.
Those are looking good.
Yeah, and once you have a nice golden brown, the next step, and we're going to go ahead and start plating one of these, is you're going to take a piece of Swiss cheese. So the rest of the build on these sandwiches, and we're using pretzel buns. And I think a lot of times when you go over to Germany, they think of pretzels and beer and bratwurst. So that's kind of how it ties it all together.
Very good.
Pretzel buns are kind of the hot rave right now.
I've noticed that.
Yeah, so you add a little bit of mustard, either English mustard or German mustard, whatever you like on the bottom. And if you give this a minute or 2 in a hot pan, your cheese will kind of melt down around it. So we're gonna pretend that that's done.
Melted,
and you're gonna stick one right here on top.
Very good.
And then you're going to take a little bit of your coleslaw that you made, or your sauerkraut.
Sauerkraut,
originally coleslaw, and top right there on the top of your burger.
Wow.
And you're going to go ahead.
That's a nice new twist on the old hamburger, and gives you something to celebrate around October.
Just a little different flavor profile.
Well, it looks to me like that may be even something to try in the summer months too. Thanks for bringing this recipe.
Welcome.
For this and other outstanding recipes, visit beefitswhatsfordinner.com or our website at cattlemantocattleman.org.